I mean, come on. So
let's get it.
Jake Krell, Peyton Houston, both predicted to Oklahoma. Will Jaydn Ott be the difference maker in the Oklahoma Sooners run game? We think he will, but just how great can he be? We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks again for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Coming up in the third segment, we're going to ask the question, who leads the Oklahoma Sooners defensive backs? I got a strong opinion on that. But first, Jay, Jaydn Ott was a big spring portal acquisition for the Oklahoma Sooners, somebody that everybody's basically projecting to go ahead and be the starting running back for the Sooners. He's got a lot of production from his time at Cal, had a little bit of an injury plagued 2024 season, but everybody's expecting the bounce back year.
Yeah, a lot of people are expecting this is the year that he can have his bounce back. He was dealing with the ankle injury most of last season at Cal, so he didn't put up the numbers he did, but 2,500 yards in his first 2 seasons in college football. I mean, that's kind of enough to let you know that, oh, no, this is like a legitimate dude. If he wasn't dealing with that ankle injury that 1 year, maybe he's got over 3,000 yards with ease as a starting running back. And he became the focal point for them, right? Fernando Mendoza was a solid quarterback there, but at the same time, everybody saw what Ott did with 1,300 yards in his sophomore season, true sophomore season. They're like, no, we can't let this dude destroy us again. That was the focus. And, of course, it's the ACC, and they're traveling cross country. So it's kind of a weird year for Cal overall. But this is what Oklahoma's been wanting and needing. It's been a number one back that has a proven track record of being a number one back for multiple seasons. And so for Oklahoma, we talk about John Mateer 99% of the time, and we rarely really say much about Jaydn Ott. He's a dude that's considered like one of the top 2, actually I'll say top 5 just to be fair, top 5 backs in the NFL draft coming up. And in most places, they consider him number 2, John. So if he's considered to be that talented after and not even playing in the SEC yet, if he goes out there and the line shows what we expect them to, dude could go out there and rush over 1,000 yards, and people are going to be like, wait, where did he come from?
Yeah, I don't know if it's underselling it to say that Jaydn Ott is the X factor for 2025.
Oh, 100%.
Yes, John Mateer matters, but if you don't get a run game going in the SEC at the University of Oklahoma, you're looking at an average season. And you've got to get the run game going. Jaydn Ott has got to be a focal point of this offense. He's got to take the pressure off the passing game. You're not going to be able to sling it around 50 times and win. You're not going to be able to run John Mateer 15 times a game and win. You're going to have to be able to run the football. We saw what they were able to do against Alabama. You shorten the game by taking the air out of the football, running the football, and dominating the line of scrimmage. If you can do that week in, week out in the SEC, you're going to win a lot of football games. As much as I love the passing attack, as much as I love watching wide receivers run routes and catch balls out there, got to get the run game going. It can't be simpler than that. Even in the modern era of football, it still matters who controls the trenches. Oklahoma's got to have a bounce back year, and it's got to be led by Jaydn Ott.
Yeah, and that's the fascinating thing is you really think about it. They're going to run John Mateer probably 10 times a game. But the even better part about that is that if you have Jaydn Ott running with John Mateer, you got 2 people to respect at all times in just the run game. That takes more pressure to me off the wide receivers than it does anything else, because if Mateer goes back into a pass and he decides that he's going to tuck and run, he finds the right hole that's open, or he scrambles out and takes off, defenders are going to have to turn around and go after him. Well, the wide receivers at that point, if they clear out properly, there's an opportunity for him to throw one of his little sidearm things at him, and they're going to be wide open on a regular basis. But then they're going to be like, all right, we got to pay attention to the quarterback in his scrambles. We got to pay attention to these wide receivers. Well, if they do a little screen pass to I can just go, boom, he's gone. Or you just hand him the ball. Then you got play action opens up. John, there's a plethora of possibilities. And I'm going to be honest. I purposely don't talk about Jaydn Ott very much because I want him to be the big surprise for a lot of these people. I want everything to be on shoulders of John Mateer, because when he goes out there and be like, wait, y'all ain't really saying much about this dude. Like, I know. That was by design. We want him to just surprise you. And he's going to continue to be ignored because regardless, last season, the number one conversation was quarterback play. And so we got to answer that. We answer that. John Mateer is going to answer that against Illinois State. But then you're going to have Jaydn Ott be able to add you some more. But even better, John, imagine Jaydn Ott with Michael Hawkins as well. It's not like it's a situation where only one quarterback's going to be able to be successful with them. I can see both of them being successful with them.
Listen, I think he's going to be the first Oklahoma running back to rush for 1,000 yards since Eric Gray. We're going to get back to that. And I know you've got talented running backs like Xavier Robinson, Taylor Tatum, Javonte Barnes. You've got Torrey Blaylock waiting in the wings. This is Jaydn Ott's show. He didn't come here to be a rotational back. He didn't come to Oklahoma to run the ball just 10 times a game. No, he came to Oklahoma because Jim Nagy wanted him, and he wanted him to be the bell cow. He wanted to lean on Jaydn Ott. And so Oklahoma's going to lean on Jaydn Ott, and he's going to be very productive. He's going to put together a big season. A lot of teams are going to focus on shutting down John Mateer in the run game. In the read option, Oklahoma's going to be able to run that and kill defenses because defenses have to respect John Mateer. They can't crash down the line of scrimmage and just focus on Jaydn Ott because John Mateer will sneak out the backside and pick up 10 yards before everybody even knows that he's got the ball still. So Jaydn Ott is going to thrive because they're not going to be able to crash down. They got to respect John Mateer in this. And I think he will. He's not going to be somebody that goes down easily. He's going to find the hole. He's going to hit it hard, and he's going to be able to break tackles. He's got good contact balance. He's got everything that you want in a lead running back. And now it's time to go put up big numbers. And he's going to do that.
He has all the capabilities of that 100%. Now the question is, John, and this is something that we're going to have to table for another day. So make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you don't miss the show. Who's going to be the one right behind Jaydn Ott going forward? Who is the other back that's going to be out there potentially to produce with Jaydn Ott? That, my friend, is the question.
Yeah, and briefly, I think it could be any number of guys any given week. Just depending on how that practice goes that week, how DeMarco Murray's feeling, somebody performed in practice that week. We know DeMarco Murray loves to use practice as a gauge for how he gives out carries. Jaydn Ott's going to be your bell cow. What falls behind him, that could be a week-to-week thing. And I know that that's going to frustrate Oklahoma fans to no end, but that's the way it's going to be.
Mad at you for that.
Be mad. Be mad at me. Don't be mad at DeMarco. DeMarco's doing what he can do, and he's trying to let people earn it on the practice field. But yeah, we'll discuss that in greater detail on another occasion because Oklahoma is absolutely deep at running back. They're also really deep at defensive back, in particular safety. But who leads the Oklahoma defensive backfield coming up next year? We'll discuss coming up next year on Locked On Sooners.